Bullying, an act of repeated aggressive behavior in order to intentionally hurt another person, either physically or mentally. It is characterized by an individual behaving in a certain way to gain power over another person. Bullying consists of three basic types of abuse: emotional, verbal, and physical, involving subtle methods of coercion like intimidation. It can occur in any context in which human beings interact with each other. This includes schools, churches, families, homes and neighborhoods, and the workplace. Marshelle Woodland knows all too well about the horrendous effect of bullying, for she too is a victim of an ongoing path to recovery. This is her story.
Hello, my name is Marshelle D. Woodland. After 15 successful years as a U.S. postal carrier, I began a long, emotionally taxing battle with my employers, which was to change my life forever. On September the 25th, 2001, after returning to work from carpal tunnel surgery and still in a cast, I was on the phone with the injury compensation specialist, trying to get several months back pay. My supervisor approached me yelling and screaming with an E-pen in her hand, waving it inches from my face. She screamed at me to get off the phone. When I told her who I was talking to on the phone, she said,
"I don't care if you're talking to the postal inspector. Get off the phone now. Get off the phone now.
I asked the person who I was talking to if she heard my supervisor as she was yelling and screaming at me. Then I told her, while crying, that I had to go. The supervisor walked away yelling,
"Don't touch the phone!"
She returned minutes later, pointing the pen even closer toward my face. I told her 3 times to get the pen away from my face, and she stuck me in the eye. I then knocked the pen out of her hand. She screamed out loudly,
"Someone call the postal inspector. She hit me!"
I ran into the ladies' room crying, and then I took all of the pain pills prescribed to me for the carpal tunnel. I was on the floor crying until a coworker came to tell me that he witnessed the incident and that the workman's comp nurse was there to see me. What followed was an emergency room visit where I had my stomach pumped, several days in the psychiatric ward, and then returned to work a week later, where I was forced to sit across from the same supervisor who assaulted me the week before. This resulted in days and days of mental intimidation from the management, and years of a legal battle in which I was forced out of my job I loved. The most detrimental part of the whole ordeal was that my 8 children and I became homeless. In the process, my children's father died. And God only knows where my eldest daughter was in the U.S. Army Medical Unit. In the wake of 9/11, just 2 weeks prior to my altercation with my supervisor, that started it all.
Yes, for those who have been the targets of bullying can suffer from long-term emotional and behavioral problems, such as loneliness, depression, anxiety, and lead to low self-esteem and susceptible to disease. In the long term, it can lead to post-traumatic stress disorder. Ever wonder what activities helped coin the phrase "going postal" may have been all about? Well, in 1993, 2 fatally postal shootings occurred in 2 separate states just 4 hours apart, in Michigan and in California, and countless years before and after.
Some nights when I close my eyes, I reflect back on that other person I had almost become. A mad woman with a gun, a knife, a can of gasoline. The horrific thoughts of rage as I scrambled for answers day in and day out. Finally, Something deep within me settled my rage as I reached for the Bible, thinking everything is going to be okay. I think that more than any other time in America, we as people need to encourage and support each other. Our children will inherit a world which we adults shape by example. Some children who are bullied grow up to ostracize others. Some, like myself, are forced to the point of self-destruction when faced with harassment at work. This can be manifested in the form of depression or losing one's financial security, upsetting our children's lives and rocking them to the core.
This is the story of an American family and this mother's resolve to keep them from going under. It is the story of every person who has ever faced a seemingly impossible crisis and turned it into an opportunity to pay it forward. Each of our lives is a work in progress, often sparked by a turning point. Marshelle chooses to present her story as an upcoming novel, theater production, film, and documentary entitled The Day I Almost Went Postal, now in progress.